Japanese culture has taken the world by storm. Its anime has become one of the best resources for telling stories in animated form. It allows for freedom of expression in any genre and for any audience. Not something you typically see in such a widespread medium these days. So of course, when we found out Toll had just recently started to delve into this art form, Zio and myself took it on as our job, no, our duty, to help give him some great resources to start with. And what better thing to do than to turn it into a competition? Also, Toll didn't know we made it a competition till I just said so right now. But if you didn't know already, you're listening to the Son of a Geek podcast.
Son of a Geek! Podcast.
And I'm your host. Nice. I like that. And I'm your host, Spencer. And joining me on this beautiful morning evening are two glorious co-hosts of mine. One of them is even more convoluted and makes less sense than the original ending of Evangelion, and the other that if this was an anime would just be an extra. It's Toll and Zio. How's it going, guys?
I understood that reference.
Who's the extra?
I don't know. I guess that's for you guys to decide.
There's always one of those.
Funny story. I was an extra in a movie, but I'm pretty sure it didn't make it in the movie.
Funny story.
Oh, I remember you telling this a while ago. Which movie was it again?
I have no idea. It was years ago. It was when I was on a business trip and I had to fly, and I went to an airport and they were filming a movie, and they're like, "Hey, you want to just be an extra walking in the background?" I'm like, "Hells yeah, I do!" And then I walked like a wacky inflatable balloon man, and they're like, "Cut! What are you doing?" I'm walking. They're like, "Yeah, but you're super distracting. Can you just walk by like normal?" I was like, "Oh yeah, just give me one more try. Sorry about that." So they started over, and then I did it again. And they're like, "Why don't you just go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair."
I mean, that's on them. They had no idea. They had no way of knowing that you have a palsy. You know?
Oh, that's awesome.
So I mean, if you ever see a movie and there's a dude walking ridiculous in the background, it's me.
You didn't make it into the movie.
It must have been Austin Powers. I see that a lot in there.
Totally didn't make it in, but at the same time, gives me a fun story to tell.
I like to think you made it in there.
I hope so. I like to think one day I'm just going to rent a movie on Netflix, or not rent a movie. I'm going to watch a movie on Netflix and just see it in the background. I'm like, oh my God, that was me.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a long time before anybody rents any movies on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Sorry, Zio. That wasn't your story that I remembered.
On Netflix.
Well, used to, but hopefully never again.
Actually, I think you still can, but no one tries.
Yeah.
But it was a different buddy of mine who, it was a really old TV show. Oh God, I don't remember what it's called. But he played an extra as just some guy listening to a story, and the show was about some kid who could use his computer to bring different famous people from the history like into the present, and then they went through solving problems, and it was
Ooh, we don't typically cover news, but I read something super awesome today, and I kind of want to share it with you guys.
Okay.
What's that?
So Sony announced that they are starting their own movie company called PlayStation Production.
Really?
So
is this because they just got that game on the PS4 and that's how they're going to make all of their...
I don't know, but they're going to start adapting their own titles into movies. But it's going to be in-house. So it's PlayStation Productions making movies. So the actual creators and developers of the games get to have more control over the story of the movie.
I really hope it's the same way that we're doing Next to Nothing.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would be hilarious. If it's just
we're making movies now.
That'd be awesome. All right, to the topic at hand.
Oh, yeah. So, Toll, we went through and we chose 3 categories. One was slice of life, one was comedy, one was action. So we've each chosen an anime from those categories. And then we also went and chose an animated movie from Japanese culture that we're going to basically... Zio's going to give you one, and then I'm going to give you one, or I'm going to give you one, and then Zio's going to give you one. We never really figured that far into the planning. And then you're going to let us know which one you're more interested in checking out.
So is this like a scoring system?
Genre then? So we're going to do slice of life first, action, so forth? Like, does he pick one from each category?
We'll leave it up to Toll. We'll ask Toll what he wants to have given to him first.
Yes, how do you want this?
Give it to him.
How much anime can you watch in a week? Because next week we're going to ask you about this.
In a week, I can binge anything. It's just a question of how much I want to get done.
Nice. Well, just in case there's
Scratch that. I cannot binge an entire series, but I can get a good ways into it. I've tried doing that with Bleach, and I'm still not done with it.
Well, you chose the wrong series. That has like 400 episodes. The series
so
we're
does
going to be
Dragon Ball.
recommending, I'm pretty sure none of them have that many episodes.
No, none of the
fair.
ones that I'm recommending have that many.
All
either.
the best animes are shorter.
All right. So-
all right, whatever.
Here's my criteria.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be keeping score for you guys.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, Toll's keeping score. That's
And
great.
if either of you say one that I've seen before, you're losing a point.
Ooh, I like this. I
So wait,
went out of my way.
How are you doing this then? Because we've only got 3 anime movies or 3 anime shows and a movie each.
Oh no, I'm going to let you know, but then you're going to have to change your answer.
How about this? How about this? He's got to pick one of each category, and then he has to pick an ultimate series to which we get to, like, say he chooses A on my side, B on your side, A on my side. Then you and I get to choose one of those to fight for to convince him to watch.
Well, how about we worry about it when we get to that point?
No way.
Because
I
this
have
is
to have this
already too
established so I can
confusing.
pre-plan my win.
No,
All right.
we'll just
Let's go category
Toll,
by category.
What do you
Each-
want first, Toll?
I don't remember what they were, but what we're going to do is
You
you
got
guys both pitch, and I'll pick one, and in the end, I'll pick which one out of the 3 that I like the most,
All right,
and then
hold
you
on.
guys have to fight
I
for
gotta-
victory.
I gotta go to my chat with Spen to make sure I remember the ones I
To make
chose.
sure what?
Okay, we're good.
You didn't do any prep work?
No.
He never does prep work, man.
I hate you so much. I hope I crush you.
Hell, I
hope
think
you
I've done
lose.
more prep work, and I had no idea what the hell we were doing.
That will make this so much more satisfying when I destroy you,
I
Spen.
spent a fair amount of time like going over a few of the shows and just like, okay, what's the best way that I can word this to make Toll go, that sounds good.
I'm gonna speak
Very
from my
interesting
heart.
this sounds.
Here's
It's
the
always the best
interesting
way
though.
to convince me.
I'm curious to see if I convince Zio to watch any of these as well, because he hasn't. I went out of my way to try and pick ones that thought both of you wouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
So, and I managed to succeed.
I mean, I won't
There's
lie.
only
I'm
one
really
of
picky
them.
about my anime, so
There's only one of them on Zio's list that I haven't seen yet. The other one I haven't finished, but Zio already knows
Really?
about that, and he's already given his disappointment towards me. So,
Okay. So, Toll, we have action, slice of life, or comedy.
Let's start with Slice of Life. Nice and easy.
All right.
who do you want to go first,
Pick a number.
Mr.
9.
Director? 20.
Spin.
All right, nice. So the one I picked first. Are we, Zio? We never talked about this before. I don't think it really matters at this point. We're totally fine with giving like characters' names, saying what it's called, or do you want us to? Are we holding off on that?
I request no
does it really
major
matter?
spoilers.
Yeah, let's
No, I'm not giving any spoilers.
you can use
'Cause I
character
think when we-
names, but I'm not going to.
Okay, cool. So the Slice of Life is one of my favorite go-to anime categories. It's
So much pressure.
Yeah, he
I know,
prepped, he
right?
prepped this.
So my first one coming to you is called Silver Spoon. So Silver Spoon is
that
a
was not
slice.
on your list at all. Oh yeah,
No, it was.
Never mind. I looked at your first list. Damn it.
Yeah, no, I sent you my changed one. But so Silver Spoon is a slice of life anime that essentially it transcends its genre. A lot of slice of life stories can end up meandering or or kind of feel like they're pointless, as it's just going on talking. Just basically, it's like a slice of life where you see just normal everyday characters going through normal everyday situations with just kind of a bit of added flair. But with this one goes a little bit farther as it builds its series full of life lessons, deep characters, and thematic exploration. So it starts with our main character who's basically he starts out as a damaged, isolated teen, and we get to go through and watch as he grows and learns through these different life lessons as he's going through
Lessons?
life lessons as he's going through high school. What's different about this slice, there's not another anime like this one, because this one takes place in a high school for it's basically an agricultural school. So you get to go through and see and experience how a lot of stuff goes on with like the farm life and dealing with animals animals. And so while you're going through learning all this different stuff about the characters and how they're going through these different issues that that they're trying to learn from and gain experience, you also, as someone watching this show, if you don't know anything about agriculture, you get to learn not anything really like specific or special knowledge, but you get to learn the basics of different things that kind of go on behind the scenes, where it's like how like meat packing plants go, and how they deal with like cattle and different setups where it's got like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like hens and chickens and they're like laying eggs and all this different stuff. And
this is starting to sound more like an episode of How It's Made, man. Don't get me wrong, but it's fascinating show.
But it's what's great about it, though, is it's a series that's filled with a large, memorable supporting cast of characters, each with their own unique problems. As our character grows and makes new friends, we learn along with him that these unique problems that his classmates have may appear simple on the surface, but they're rooted in from many other reasons that kind of lay behind the scenes, whether it's like emotional, family, financial, and all these different things. It's essentially an anime that kind of walks the fine line between a realistic drama and a comedy that makes this slice of life kind of brim with a real heart.
You worked a long time on that pitch, didn't you?
I spent time on this.
And are you ready for me to blow him out of the water with little to
that's
no
basically what I have to say about Silver Spoon. It's one of my... I've seen a lot of animes over time, but this was one of the ones that I kept going back to, and I've watched it a couple times, and it pains me that there's only 2 seasons and it hasn't continued. So,
all right.
Yeah, there we go. Pitch over.
All right.
Okay, that actually sounds really fascinating, and I'm gonna have to look into that. Z,
Unless
what do you got?
mine is better, which
Let's
it
see.
is.
Only time will tell.
I, unlike Spen, don't like slice of life animes. I quite think they're ridiculous and not that enjoyable. And
you seem to be at a bit of a disadvantage in this category, then.
However, I do have a slice of life anime called Your Lie in April.
Oh, so good.
Oh, see, Spen's already rooting for me.
No.
Unlike Silver Spoon, it is only 1 season. It is a one and done. Does not have 2 seasons and left on a cliffhanger and will not continue to break Spen's little heart. It is one singular story with a good message. It is about a young boy in high school, just used to be a piano player. Something his mother had kind of forced onto him, but he stopped playing due to certain situations in his life, preventing him from wanting to play.
Like hobbyist or professional?
Hobbyist to professional. Until
so he's good at it. I get you.
Another individual who inspires him. And this individual is a girl. And this girl is a violinist. And she
I thought you were going to say violent for a second.
And their personalities are very different. The boy is very timid in nature, and he's calm and has no courage and struggles with performing in front of public now. As this girl is very carefree, artistic, and just a free spirit. And with that, she teaches him how to enjoy life more and view music as a source of passion and less about just down to the numbers. I have to perform perfectly to basically be a mechanical bot.
Mm-hmm.
And the two have this relationship, and they grow with one another, and there's problems that happen throughout the season, and it builds to a crescendo that will make you cry in your soul.
I like crescendo, talking about musical.
It's a good cry.
Based story, and you build into a crescendo. I like your wordplay there.
Thank you. And I would highly recommend it. One, if slice of life is not your cup of tea, this anime will make it your cup of tea. It is a phenomenal
that is a bold claim,
anime
sir.
With coming from someone who doesn't like slice of life. I've tried to watch a lot of series, and I'll probably try to watch a Silver Spoon, and I'll probably end up not liking it because I don't enjoy slice of life animes. But this one makes me open to the possibility of liking others. And so now I don't judge other books by their covers because of this anime.
Well, you should never judge a book by its cover, but these are videos, so...
Well, yeah. Pun aside,
sorry, I couldn't resist.
Your Lie in April is a phenomenal,
So
heartwarming story that has a wonderful score and good characters.
Nice. Well, they both sound very interesting, but I gotta say, Spen, you're winning with 5 points to 4.
Yes.
I should
5
probably
points to 4. How
I should
are
probably
you scoring this?
I'm trying to say, I should probably explain. I am putting down a score for every thing that you say that makes me go, oh, interesting, in my head. So if you say something and I'm like, oh, hey, that piques my interest, that's a point.
But you gotta follow your heart when it comes to
I
anime.
am following my heart.
No.
Your Lie in April is it's so good.
See,
It
when I get
plays-
the person to agree with me, you should...
You're tied.
Yes.
Well,
You're
because
tied.
it plays on a lot of
you're tied.
like deep It plays on a lot of really deep psychological levels as well. So it's got a lot more layers to it than you would normally or kind of expect when you're first going into it. And just it's
Yeah, you got your opponent talking up your point. Zio, you win slice of life.
Yeah.
Because Spen, you just gave him 2 points.
Thanks, Ben.
What? Oh, whatever.
All right. Next we got...
What's the next category you want?
Comedy
Comedy.
or action?
Let's go comedy.
All right. Who do you want to go first?
Well, Spen, you went last time, so Zio. I don't like you talking first. Spen, go ahead. I'm just messing with you. Just messing with you. Go ahead, Zio.
Wow. That's fine. I like to knock it out of the park. Anyways, so for my comedy, I chose High School DxD. Now, typically, I like short narratives that last within 12, 13 episodes, maybe 24. However, High School DxD is on for 3, I think going on a 4th season now. And every season is just as funny as the last. So, the premise of High School DxD is this teenage boy who is a pervert ends up being murdered by a demon.
Wait, hold on. What is every anime that I've ever seen?
No, trust me. This takes it a step further.
I realize that after that it's going to change, but come on, that's in all of them.
That's fair. This
Okay.
anime is the cliche of cliches to the point to where it's almost a parody of other animes. So it's very aware of what it is, and it makes fun of itself in that way. It's a very intentionally cliche anime. It's just the way I can think about it. Like, I don't like a lot of anime
Campy?
tropes.
Is campy the
it's
word you're looking for?
Yeah, I was trying not to say it because, I like that word too much apparently. But it's
okay.
it does
we like
everything
that you
on
like it.
purpose. Like, I don't like cliches. I don't like over the top animes. I can't stand it when someone's voice gets ridiculously high, their mouths get super big, their eyes turn into triangles and stuff. And I don't like all that nonsense. That turns me off for a lot of anime. But in this one specifically, I love every moment of it.
So it sounds like you're okay with cliches as long as they're tongue in cheek.
Yes. So,
But not if it gets too big of the tongue and the cheek.
Oh no, the bigger the better here.
I thought you didn't like the most like getting
Where
too
is this
big.
conversation going?
Don't worry about it. So the story of High School DxD is there's this boy, and like I said, he is a pervert, and that's the drive of the show. He gets killed by a demon. He gets resurrected by another demon, and then becomes part of that demon's crew. So like he becomes the pawn. They use a lot of chess references.
Mhm.
So she is the queen, and he is her pawn. And in that, he becomes her slave and does all kinds of things for him. But his ultimate goal is to become a high-ranking demon to have his own harem. It is a very ecchi anime, so if you like boobs, there are a lot of them.
Ichi? I have never heard that word before.
It's fan servicey.
Okay.
Basically, a lot of nudity in the sense.
Yeah, I see by the cover art.
Quit looking stuff up.
I'm not looking up
You're
any
not.
information.
That's cheating.
I'm checking
You
the
are-
art style and seeing
you're
if I recognize
cheating.
it.
You're
That's
cheating. Anyways, his ultimate goal is to get a harem of his own women. And he develops this power of...
Wait a minute. I want to explore what you just said. I'm not competing. How am I cheating?
Guys, you're looking up the art styles. You're supposed to choose based off our descriptions alone, not your own research. But
it sounds very familiar.
It sounds familiar, but I tell you that what I love most about this anime is the dialogue in the script. So this, you know how anime's awkward with its translation of Japanese to English, and some moments don't work out well. Well, this embraces that. And the script is rewritten in English, so basically to be like an American teenage boy. Some of the things the main character says make me laugh so hard because I can easily picture a cocky American teenager talking this way. It's just, I've never really cared about comedy animes. I'm typically a darker anime kind of guy. But this one is just so good. It makes me laugh all the time. I love every season of it. It gets bigger and better every season. It's just more ridiculous, and they just embrace it. And for a anime that is so ecchi and just so fan servicey,
It sounds so weird.
it is. But the action in it too is
God,
actually
this
really
anime
good.
is so itchy. It's so itchy.
Like it's the art style is really good, and it's fighting.
I apologize to any
action moments.
hardcore anime
It is
fans out
actually
there
really
cringing at my response.
That's okay. Most of us cringe when we hear Zio say the word, so.
That's fine.
I'm never going to be able to hear Ichigo's name the same way ever again. But yeah, that sounds
High School
fascinating.
DxD,
Anything more?
the funniest anime you'll ever watch.
I've
Hands
heard
down.
that before.
No, it
Furikuri?
is.
Excel Saga?
Oh, have you seen Fooly Cooly?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. You're the one that told me there's a second season.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one, but
I haven't seen it yet.
See, that one's too far for me. That's too campy. Not a fan of it.
you know, guys, I think this scene needs to be a little more campy. Can we do it? Make it more campy? Really, Z? Too campy? Okay.
I told you, when anime takes itself seriously in that aspect, like it.
But it doesn't take itself seriously, and that's why it's so serious.
What I mean, it's still different. The way it's written,
it's
the
very
way
different. It's very weird.
directed. It's different than High School DxD. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but yeah. Okay, go ahead, Sven.
It's almost like a parody of itself.
I mean, everything becomes a parody of itself if it runs long enough. Let's be honest. But
No, I'm talking about Fooly Cooly.
oh, that absolutely.
I know, but it's High School
Cooly.
DxD is nothing like Fully Cooly. Like I get.
No, I think we both totally understand that.
I'm
Okay.
saying that's where my bar is up there with those guys. So if it's funnier than that, then
Yes.
wow.
I would say it's funnier than that.
Okay. Spin,
I can't tell you. I haven't seen that one. So.
Spin, what do you got?
So I should check, Zio. You're good to go with yours?
Yeah. After
Cool.
I've been interrupted a million times.
I'm
You'll get over
sorry. I tend to speak without thinking.
So the one I've
You can
got
quote me on
is
that.
called Daily Lives of High School Boys. So this is a comedy that follows along four main characters as they undergo the trials and tribulations of everyday high school life. But of course, with it being an anime, it always takes things like up a couple notches to make things a little bit more interesting. It's a show with four characters that they're all just... They all kind of see themselves as being they're kind of all portrayed as what you typically expect to be like the four average normal high school students, like a group of four really close friends. But they get into a whole bunch of different weird and wonky situations where it takes everything and kind of elevates it a little bit more extreme. It's, oh God, I don't know why I picked this one to explain, because anything I say is just going to give away spoilers. Most of the stuff that I've got written out here that I'm reading, it just kind of gives away plot points for the seasons.
Spin, plot points are fine. Plot arcs are what bug me.
Well, see, it's kind of tough to to explain a bunch of it too, because each episode, although it runs like the normal length of an anime show, it's broken up into like mini episodes in between. So you've got like the four of them could be going and having some sort of experience inside their house for like one of the guys' houses in their normal after school hanging out, and they could be like there's an episode where they all of them get together. One of them has I believe it's a younger sister, and they get to a point where they just start deciding like, hey, you know, your sister's gone, like let's go into her room and check out some of her stuff. And so they go in and they start fiddling around with different things, and they end up trying on her underwear, and it's just like it's to the point where she ends up coming home and seeing them, and then it just gets into this huge thing like, what the hell are you doing? And so it takes all of these situations, and it kind of always elevating it to the next weird step. It's kind of like if you had 4 high school students, but none of them had the ability in their mind to think, maybe this isn't a good idea, or I wonder what the consequences of this are going to be. And it goes through in these 4 to 5 minute situations, like several different scenarios throughout the episodes. And what's neat as well is there are moments where it's got the 4 main guy characters that it follows, but it also switches around to some of the other classmates as well and their interactions with the kids, as well as sometimes it does a reverse, and it's got the daily lives of the high school girls. So it takes the concept of the 4 of them, but it switches it to 4 other students that are really close friends that are all female, but it takes their kind of personalities and reverses them, so you kind of get to see like a whole round of different characters.
It.
Yeah,
I like it.
Just going through all these weird wonky situations, and
I'll be honest, this sounds more like slice of life than the other one that you said.
Well, it's tough because a lot of animes that are considered comedy are also considered slice of life.
Except mine.
Because both slice of life and comedy typically go hand in hand. So
yeah.
I would consider Daily Lives of High School Boys to be a bit more on the comedy side, just because it doesn't have all the aspects that a normal slice of life has, where you still see kind of moments of them going through situations, but everything is just built strictly on humorous moments that are happening.
So there's no greater story outside of the episodes. Just
no,
it sounds very consumable.
Yeah, it is I would consider it a very consumable one. There are moments where like there's some stuff that happens in I think like the second episode, and it's just like a couple 3-4 minute things, and then a few episodes later it'll have kind of almost like a callback / continuation where it's something that's kind of happening that if you just saw it on its own it would be still funny, but it plays off of things that happened a couple episodes before. It doesn't happen very often in it, but there's a few of those moments that
nice.
Pick up. It's one of the few comedies that I always go back, and what's great is the replayability of it is you can basically go throw the DVD in or pick it up on Crunchyroll, and you could just randomly watch any episode, and you'll be able to just jump in and have a great time with all of the characters. So
nice.
Sometimes it's nice just to randomly pick an episode and jump back in if you've got a couple minutes and you're wanting to be entertained by it. So
no,
like bite-sized South Park.
Spend it all.
Well,
what's that?
Spin had a very carefully constructed thing that didn't give me much room to get a word in edgewise.
So sorry, Zio.
So rude.
You could have interrupted me.
No,
you could have. You could have interrupted him like he interrupted you.
See, the difference though is Zio respects us.
Yeah.
And he has the decency to not jump in and just start talking, whereas we're not as respectful, and Zio, I apologize for it.
Yeah, you can speak for yourself. I'm respectful. I'm just thoughtless.
So that's Daily Lives of High School Boys.
That's why my face sometimes turned blue in my recordings. Emma, you turned the lamp on. Sorry, you can cut that part.
I should...
Now we're good.
No, never mind. No, I already said I was done. There we go.
Okay, well, you can say... more, you can say, well, you can't say less, but here's the score as we stand right now. You guys are tied. Spen takes the second round.
Ooh.
But actually, no. Spen also has one more point overall.
Oh.
Overall?
Yeah, overall, yeah.
Nice.
That doesn't make sense. What does the overall tally up to in the end?
We'll find out when we get there.
Look, Zio, I'm getting this motorbike, all right? That was the prize we decided on.
No. That was going to be my motorbike. You're
This toll
getting
giver-
me.
you-
You're
What if
getting
toll
me
gives
the
us
motorbike.
$5 so we can be part of the Toes
I'll give you $5 to get me
the
a
Toes
motorbike.
Club.
Oh shoot. I was looking up the podcast to figure out what number we were on, and I realized I didn't put a description on the last podcast, so I didn't put the email in it.
Good job, Spad.
That's okay.
That's okay.
All right.
It's you said it in the podcast, so all you got to do is listen back to the whole thing.
Yeah. So if you want to go get us some more watch time,
Last but not
Smiley,
least.
can you fact check that for us?
yes, that is a very good point. I don't think we had him fact check anything last podcast, did
No,
we?
we did. I'm pretty sure we did.
Oh, good. Good. Gotta
Smiley,
make
can
sure
you
that
fact
money
check
we're
that for
paying
us?
goes to something good.
Hmm.
All right. Action.
Action.
No, really.
Who's going
On to
first?
action.
Let's go first.
Eeny, meeny, miny, spin.
Nice. So this one, this is actually an anime. It's a fairly older one. It came out many years ago. I only recently discovered it about 5 years back. This one is called Samurai Champloo.
I love Samurai Champloo. You lose
Oh,
a
you
point
see
for
that?
that.
Loses already.
No! You saw this one.
I already win this
Dang it.
round.
I should probably have warned you. I grew up when Toonami was good on Cartoon Network, and Samurai Champloo was one of the shows that they put up there, along with
Should have
Inuyasha.
thought about that, Spad.
Dang it. Well, I'm still going to quickly talk about it anyways. That way I
Case
can
closed
hopefully
in a few
convince
of those.
Zio to
Yeah, go
watch it
ahead and
because he
upsell it
hasn't
for
seen
someone
it.
else. And then while Zio's
So-
talking, you can try and figure out something else to make up ground.
So,
So I'm,
Samurai
real quick,
Champloo.
I'm going to put a -1 next to you here.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. so you're
So
tied again
it's-
for points.
Yeah. Well, not for long. Zio's going to get a bunch of points here. So, it's essentially kind of like a samurai crossed with a little bit of Western, but with like a newer kind of hip hop vibe to it. It sounds kind of silly saying it out loud, but it's you're following two main characters that are samurais and a third main character that's trying to find a samurai who smells of sunflowers. The whole premise of the story is that's who this girl is looking for, and that's all she has to go off of is a samurai who smells of sunflowers. And it has a very strong sense of style with its combat. It has an absolutely fantastic character designer, and there are a lot of combat scenes in it that are considered almost famous, that are referenced and influence a lot of fight scenes that we see in even some live action movies and modern day movies that we've seen today. And it's just the style and how everything flows with it. It's beautiful and wonderful, and the way that they kind of take this samurai setting, but they throw in a little bit of that like background kind of like underground hip hop with like the music and the style of the of movements for some of the combat as well. It's a beautiful combination that doesn't sound like it should work at all. But the way that they've designed
A lot of
and
the
put
best
the show
things are
together,
like that, let's be honest.
yeah, it fits together into this beautiful series that I believe, I don't remember what the road is called, but I think with the series, this is back when there was that road that goes down, that went like down the middle of Japan or whatever it was, that went along through most of the major cities. I don't remember what that road is called, but the series has
That's okay,
them kind
you're
of
not alone there.
traveling down and heading across it, and they hit tons and tons of different locations, and they meet all of these great characters. And the one thing
So it's like a
I've
road
just got to
movie.
say, yeah, that it always comes back to is this fantastic choreography of its fights. Like, it's one of the best shows that you will find with its with fight scenes in
Can
it.
you call it
Just-
choreography if it's animated?
I don't know. So, but that's Samurai Champloo that Toll already has seen. So
Now, to be fair, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I
think
am
it still
familiar
counts,
with it.
though.
I am familiar with it. I will give you. I'll give you that point back because that was a riveting description and made me want to go back and watch it again.
nice.
No.
No,
The whole point was to find
I'm
things you
saying-
haven't seen.
I'm saying that he broke even here, and if he can come up with something else, he has a chance to make it up.
Okay, so I can. Well, I had. Nice.
Oh, we can come up with all kinds of stuff. The whole point
Yeah,
is
but
three.
now he doesn't have the chance to do research on it.
Yeah, but Zio, you don't. Whatever, don't worry about it.
Z, what do you got?
Okay, mine is Future Diary. So Future Diary is an anime about a boy who is a loser and does not do anything but write in his diary.
Sounds like Death Note.
Except Light was popular. Anyways, so this boy has an imaginary friend that he named Deus Ex Machina. Come to find out, he's real and he's a god. And he's like, I choose you and 11 other people to kill each other. And whoever wins gets to be the next god.
I'm not sure if that's irony or just hilarious.
But it is a fighting anime in the sense of, or not really fighting, but a Hunger Games type of anime.
Action is the category.
It's an action anime, but it's a Hunger Games style anime. So like you have 24 episodes total, and you follow the main character, and then there's this girl who happens to just be obsessed with him the entire time. And not obsessed in the anime funny way, obsessed in the creepy I will murder everybody who comes in my way.
Yandere.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That is exactly it. And it is a horrifying, it is action-packed, it is a psychological thriller. It has so much more to it than just action. And there's a really good story behind it, and the characters are just phenomenal. Each character is wildly different from the other, and they all have their own unique gravitas, and just how they interact with one another is great. And you will love the cast. You will hate the cast. The relationship between the main character and this girl who is obsessed with him is admirable yet terrifying all at the same time. And it's not afraid to take leaps into
uncomfortable territory.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so. It is not afraid to be uncomfortable by any means. And
Do we want to
that
censor this scene
aspect.
real quick? Make it PC? Fuck you! Get back to work!
The animation's great, the music is great, the story is
Sorry, I
phenomenal,
couldn't help
and
myself.
I promise you, you cannot guess the ending. It goes down this road where you think you can predict it, and it leaves little trails here and there to try to give you a hint to the ending, and it will blow your mind.
Sounds like what Death Note was trying to do before it eventually just gave up and said, screw it, we're just going to mess with you.
Death Note technically ends at episode 26, Light wins.
Yeah, that last season, no, not a fan.
Well,
But-
it's all one season.
Well, you know what I mean. That last arc after
Last 10 episodes.
when the kid became the guy hunting him,
Yeah.
that's when it lost me.
But
Yeah, I never watched
Future
it.
Diary is phenomenal.
You should.
It's a great anime.
Spin, watch
It's-
Death Note. Not the Netflix
No.
remake, although that's not terrible. It's
What?
it's terrible compared to the main one, but if you watch it on its own, it's not bad.
It's a bad movie still.
It is a
Not
bad
great.
movie.
I enjoyed the movie, but I also hadn't seen the show, so.
But yeah, it is a phenomenal anime, and Spen
All
needs
right.
to finish it.
See, I have to say, like, it is really good, but I never finished it. It got to a point. I think I've got like 3 episodes left, and it just.
And you're
It just fell off the radar
you're
for
telling
me.
us you can't take an hour and a half out of your day to finish watching it?
Not even an hour.
Well, there's.
45
I don't know.
minutes.
I mean, like,
I forgot.
I was
Anime's
hooked-
shorter.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wait until Zio's done and the points are tallied for him before I say anything about the show.
I'm done.
How about this?
I don't want to talk bad about the show and
my
have
pen
that
is
affect the
down.
score. Okay.
And you can say what you want at this point. I am done tallying Zio's points for this at this moment.
I
What do you got?
really enjoyed the show for the first 3 quarters of it. And then I think I'd stopped watching it. I never finished it just because it started to fall apart for me. Like some of the mysteries that kind of kept me going like, oh, what's going on? What's going to happen? Like when I found out the actual things for it, I mean, it was cool, but then it kind of started to lose some of its wonder. And I don't know. I guess it also came out during a really intense season of anime. Like there were tons of really good shows, and there were just other ones that I was more interested to watch in.
See,
Like, I
Spen,
still
if
plan
you
to go
watch
back
the
and-
last few episodes, it will change your mind. Like those last few
I mean, it
episodes
could.
change the entire anime.
Oh, I don't know, but it just I lost. And if I go back and watch it now, I'm gonna have to almost rewatch the season because when I started watching it, it was being released like simulcast.
Sure.
So
Well, if you already know the story and then you watch those last few episodes, if they're like he says and it changes the nature of the whole thing, then that's going to make it's going to blow your mind and you're going to be like, whoa, that didn't make sense. And then you're going to want to rewatch it.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely really good, and I highly recommend it as well.
Next time you have a day, in 7 years from now where you have a little bit of free time, watch it.
But there's so many shows. Like my queue on Crunchyroll is so big that it instantly crashes the...
I know you're a consummate professional and you schedule out every second of every single day. So I'm saying, put it down there at the end of your list, 7 years out. Watch the last 3.
Oh, it's in the list somewhere. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
There's too much good stuff to watch. So.
All right. Did you have a backup show, Sven?
Yeah, but I'm really worried that you've seen it too. So I'm gonna throw it out anyways. Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
You haven't seen Cowboy Bebop?
I've seen the movie.
There's a movie. Oh no, there is a movie.
There's a movie.
No, is there?
The movie. Have you not seen Cowboy Bebop, man?
So Cowboy Bebop is made by the same people that made Samurai Champloo, but they made Cowboy Bebop first. Have you ever seen Firefly?
Yes, I have.
It takes the like it's like everybody's anime dream version of Firefly. It follows it's the perfect mixture of space meets cowboys, or space meets western, and you follow the adventures of this a main character who I think it's kind of like 2 main characters, and then the rest of the crew, they slowly gather and they go through these massive adventures, taking on different bounties and work just to keep the money needed to keep their ship afloat. And what's great about this show is it's one of the few shows that has a lot of really fantastic elements that are incorporated into the show, where maybe you catch glimpses of it at the beginning and you're like, wow, this is kind of cool, and then you forget about it, and then way down the road you're like, oh shit, this stuff's connected, like holy crap. And words escape me when I'm trying to explain this to other people, because Cowboy Bebop, it's one of those it's really hard to describe what a classic anime is, just because there's so many animes that have come out over the years, and we haven't really seen any new like classic animes in a long time, like ones that are basically going to be referenced for years to come and influence tons and tons of different things. Cowboy Bebop came out in that magical era where it was new, it was different, it was really well done. It's got a fantastic story, characters are written amazing, action is in there. It's got the trials and tribulations of flying around in space, stuck alone in this little ship with who knows what's coming after you, flying over to kill you. And it's one of the it's not a cult classic. It's one of the classic animes that's basically nobody puts it on their top 10 list anymore. Nobody puts it on their top 10 list because it transcends the top 10 list.
Because everybody knows about it. It's one of those things that if you haven't seen it, it's almost impossible for someone to describe it to you, like Breaking Bad.
I think so, kind of.
It's like there's so much going on, so many ways that everything ties together that there's just no way of saying it.
See, I would disagree.
To people who aren't in the know, is what I'm getting from you.
Number 1 on top 10 lists that I've seen.
Well, okay, because I was going through tons of top 10 lists.
I will say that it was a very, very good show, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You tend to gravitate towards quite a few animes. You get like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Cowboy Bebop. You get a couple Death Notes that are typically number 1 on the top 10 lists.
Yeah,
Sven, I was watching your face to see if you noticed what I said, and I don't think you noticed what I said.
What did you say?
Now he wants you to get his joke.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, because you've seen Cowboy Bebop.
I've seen Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
I know I heard that and I was ignoring it because I was just like, son of a bitch.
I wanted to let you get it in because it's such a great show. And if anyone doesn't want to know about it, they need to know about it. For what it's worth, I did keep score on that. And even with the good points that you made, even without the negative against you, you still lost.
That's okay.
Yeah. If I had to choose between the two, I would pick Cowboy Bebop over Future Diary, but I would choose Future Diary over Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
For the comedy, Daily Lives of High School Boys sounds hilarious. High School DxD, I could never watch that with my 9-year-old in the house, so that made it kind of lose a point there.
Well, I might lose a point too because it's been a little while since I've watched it, but some of the topics, I don't know if I would recommend watching Daily Lives of High School Boys with your 9-year-old daughter.
Well, then that would still put you guys in the same ratio.
I can guarantee, though, High School DxD would make Daily Lives of High School Boys make PG.
Oh, for sure. Like it's got some topics.
High School DxD is like rated R or rated M TV show.
If I had a daughter and she was 10 or 11, then I'd be okay with her watching Daily Lives of High School Boys if I was watching it with her.
So, looking at this, Span, you won comedy. Zio, you won everything else. So Z is the overall victor.
No, we still have movie.
Oh, we still have the movie. That's right.
Yeah, we have a movie.
Said 3
I'm
categories
win that
at
anyways.
first.
We said 3 categories in a movie.
All right,
Yes.
all right. You got the movie. You got the movie to make up for it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Zio picked a really good movie.
We'll see how
I didn't just
well
pick
he
a
can
really
sell
good
it.
movie. I picked the best movie.
Now, here's the thing. It's not how good is the thing that you picked. It's how good can you sell it?
It's true.
Or rather, how well can you sell it?
I will talk about this movie for an hour. This will be a podcast alone. Are you ready for this, Toll?
Bring it on.
You ready for this? Okay.
The anime
Quickly, before
movie
you keep
I
singing.
picked is Your Name. Your Name is the greatest anime movie of all time, and I will argue with anyone forever if they disagree.
Yeah, you've told me about it before.
Yep, I will go on and on about this movie. I don't typically like anime movies.
Yeah,
I kind of avoid them. I tend to like series just because I like longer narratives more than just an hour and a half. But Your Name is such an enjoyable experience. I can't see what you're doing.
As a -1.
Because I don't like anime movies in the most
No,
parts?
it's because you told me about it before. I know of it. You're supposed to be telling me about new things.
This is a new thing because you haven't watched it. The whole point is to
but
convince you to
you've-
watch our anime, not what you've seen. You have not seen Your Name.
Yeah,
I may have
you
talked about it
convinced
before.
me to watch it the last time you told me about it.
Well, I'm
I
going
just
to
haven't gotten
reconvince you
around
to
to it
watch it over Spen's movie. The whole point is you haven't seen it, and that's why I'm pushing it. I will mail you my copy if I have to.
You know what? You're working against yourself here on the scoreboards, but I'll let you do it.
I'm not working against myself. Your scoring system
Well,
is
tell
garbage.
it anyways, just for people that may not have
Anyways,
seen it in the.
So
the
Your
viewers.
Name is a phenomenal anime. It follows a boy and a girl who have swapped bodies. They're on opposite sides of the world in their cases. Not really literal world, but like their worlds are complete opposites. You have a city boy, small town girl. It's a journey song in an anime. And they
Oh,
swap
bad jokes.
bodies and lives, and they get to see the others' perspectives of what they have to go through, what their life is like. And through that adversity, you have hilarious antics. It has a slice of life element. It has a supernatural element to it. It has just a romance element to it as well. They learn to have an appreciation for one another, and then they try to work together to at least live in each other's lives for the days that they swap. Because it's not just a Freaky Friday. I'm in your body, you're in my body. They wake up in each other's bodies for a day, and then they go back. And then it feels like a dream. The cast is so endearing. Like, it's perfectly casted. The Japanese is great. The English dub is even great. The musical score is made by the Radwhips, and it is one of the best musical scores ever. Like, I listen to the album of Your Name every time I do a thumbnail. Every time I'm writing, every time I'm drawing, that album is on my playlist. I get one of those songs. When you watch the movie, you hear the song, and then you hear the song, it brings the movie to you. And no movie has made me feel the way Your Name makes me feel. Like, I just get so warm on the inside. It tears me up. It rips out my heart. I will watch this movie over and over and over and over again. And I don't do that for many things. I typically one and done, or I'll watch it a couple times if I really like it. But I can watch Your Name once a week, every week. And I saw it in theaters with my wife. My wife hates anime, and she loves this movie. This movie bonded us with anime, and I've convinced her to try out other animes because of this movie. If it's not your cup of tea, you will like anime after this. This also pushed my want for more slice of life just because of how it makes you feel. Like, I don't want to talk too much about the plot, and I've been trying to avoid it and try to go on how this anime is perceived and just how you can take it in. It's also the most beautiful anime I've ever seen. The art style on this is gorgeous.
I don't know. I've seen Princess Mononoke.
Oh, I'm telling you. Watch this. It's better. Like it takes modern art and escalates it to literally the best it can be. It will blow you away. The experience of watching and the music, it's just nothing's better.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut you off there because it sounds like you're starting to recycle some material.
Yeah.
You could talk about it for hours. I can see that.
I could.
But
my love for this movie is super high. I want to share it with the world.
And if anyone thinks that the scoring isn't fair, I was also told about this by everybody in the Discord chat. Everybody in the game Discord also tried to upsell this movie to me when they were talking about anime a couple of times. So I'm leaving the -1 for that. I still have not seen it. I still want to see it, but it still hasn't that little ding. Sven, what do you got?
Garbage.
All right, I've got for you, I really hope you haven't seen it, a movie called Redline.
Redline. I have not seen that.
So I have
not even heard of that.
If when I say Redline, and if you look it up, you have to look up the animated movie because there is an American movie called Redline that is not anything at all like the animated movie Redline. So just make sure if anybody goes to look it up that they look up the Redline, the animated movie.
Or anime, if you will.
Yeah. So Redline it's a movie essentially about
taxes?
biggest. No, oh no. It's about the biggest, the most deadliest, the most dangerous racing tournament in the entire universe. So this takes place in the future where space travel happens all the time, and there is not anything else in the entire universe as dangerous as the Redline tournament race.
See, I see you nodding. Have you seen this?
No. Not a fan of racing
so
stuff.
This race is only held once every 5 years. Everyone wants to stake their claim to fame. Basically, only the most daredevil and reckless drivers who are basically oblivious to speed limits will participate in this race. And there's a combination. What's really unique about it is it's not like it's a race with ships. It's not like it's a race with cars. It's not like it's a race with like spaceships. It's a combination of everything. Like there's, and when I say that, I mean like when the race happens, there's tons of different aliens and humans and different species that are all in this race together, each with their own customized ship that kind of matches the feel of their race and kind of civilization. So you've got ones where the main character, he has his own like hot rod styled car that he drives. There's some other guys that have almost like they have like this pod racer-esque feel. There's others that are like these big, massive, bulky that look like massive, clunky boxes that they travel like. So there's tons of different unique styles for all these different vehicles, and they've all got these super powered drives and engines in them that they're going at ridiculous speeds that you could never imagine. And what makes this movie so special is it's an art style that I don't know if Zia would enjoy, because a lot of it's very kind of
That's
realistic.
What makes it special, that Zio might not enjoy the art.
Well, hold on. It's very realistic, styled at first with just its normal everyday stuff that's happening with a bit of kind of a unique color palette to it. But the way that they really push the limits and show and accentuate the actual speed that this show has is just how the art style develops as they're going. Like, you'll watch as the guy, he'll activate like his super drive in or whatever they call it in his car, and so when it activates, like, you watch as the car almost like elastic band stretches, and in this very weird perspective as it kind of shoots out forward, and you watch and you can see the momentum kind of shift through the car, and then as the car elongates and goes out, it like shifts along with the character as well, and it kind of pushes the boundaries on the perspectives of what of what animation kind of is, but it still also kind of keeps it all in this cohesive mix. And it's just, there is not another animated movie or show that is done with their art style and push the boundaries like what Redline has done. It is
That's a bold claim.
Oh, if anybody has seen Redline right now, they would be nodding their head. I have yet to see, and I've seen a lot of stuff. I've yet to see them push the animation in such a unique way that what Redline does.
Okay.
So, I guess the only other thing I can add in is it's not all just about the race. Like the whole if the whole premise of the movie is about the race, but you follow along this the main character who is participating in the race, and we see a little bit of like before the race as it kind of develops the character and some of his relations with a few of the other racers and contenders, as well as it brings in a lot of stuff where it shows like all of the and hints towards all of the organized crime and militaristic governments that want to leverage the race to their own ends, and it just it's got a really awesome mix of characters, the awesome stuff that happens with the race, and all of the other background elements that are trying to influence and affect it for their own gain. The way I describe it there, it kind of makes it sound like it's going to be a little bit more political, but it never kind of gets to that point where it's kind of pushes political points, but it just kind of shows like the organized crime and the involvement of all these other organizations. That just kind of helps kind of push the like, oh crap, like what, this is amazing, what's going on kind of aspect of it. So that's all I can really say about Redline without having prepared anything ahead of time.
Spin, you sold the crap out of Redline.
Nice.
The highest that anyone got for anything else was 6 points. I got you 10 for this one.
Oh, nice.
Just, you made it sound completely fascinating. I want to watch it. Not as much as I want to watch Your Name, but I already wanted to watch Your Name.
That's still not fair. That's complete garbage. The
But
whole
you already told them about it,
competition is supposed to be about getting movies you haven't seen.
Yes, and you chose to tell me about one that I've already been sold on. Don't be salty because you made a mistake.
That wasn't a mistake. The rule was something you haven't seen. You gave Sven a second chance on an anime you've already seen. And yet you dock me because I choose an anime you haven't seen.
I docked you 1 point. I docked him 2 points because he gave me 2 animes that I have seen.
I don't know. It's still garbage.
Well, for what it's worth.
To be fair, Zio, we never sat down and established proper rule set ahead of time. We just kind of, everything kind of went how it did as we went.
Oh, I could highlight.
Well, Z, how about this? You'll be a little less salty about this. I can completely cross out the action category for Spen, and he still wins. Because you had 19 points, including that -1. And he has 21.
Nice.
Sorry, man. That's the way it worked. I cut the category. Be as salty as you want.
You guys listening to the podcast,
I accidentally erased it. Quick, give me the names again. I want to watch them all.
Now you don't get to see any of them.
Oh, damn it.
So, for those that don't know, when we record this podcast, we jump onto voice chat because it makes it easier for us to kind of talk with each other, and we don't like jump over and talk over each other. And you can't see it right now, but Zio's got like such a look of disapproval and disappointment on his face right now.
I'm really salty because this
it's
bullshit.
Magical.
You really sold it well. But if you hadn't already sold it to me before, you'd have had more points.
The whole point is to find an anime you haven't seen.
No,
Yes.
it was.
You haven't
the
seen
tough
your
part for
name.
this, Zio, is you've already sold him on that one before. I've never talked
So
to
maybe
Toll
I should
about
get a
any of
whole
these things.
extra point. Sorry, I want to share the wonderful anime.
Okay,
that
fine.
is your name.
I'll let you have the point, and now you guys are tied. So there's got to be a tiebreaker.
Well, I thought he was at 19. I was at 21.
Well, I'm doing this instead of taking a
No.
point away, just
Well,
so
I think
he
you should
stops
give
being
Zio
so
another
salty.
chance. Zio, because I've got a few other chances of other things. Just
Yeah.
give
I don't watch
Zio.
anime movies. Your name is literally like the only one I've cared to
The
watch.
only,
Like,
it's the only anime movie you've ever seen.
the only other anime movie I've
Oh,
seen
God.
was not very good.
Well, that's not a great way to start selling it.
Like, I don't have interest. I mean,
What about, have you seen Studio
Ghost in the
Ghibli stuff?
Shell. Like that's like
I have
closest
not
thing.
seen Ghost in the Shell. I mean, I saw the cartoon, but I never saw the movie. I hear
Like
good
the
things.
older movies or the
You mean
current
the
remakes?
series?
Yeah, the series on TV.
So
It was on Toonami at one point.
Which one was it? The
Standalone
there's two.
complex.
that is basically a remake of the movie,
Hmm.
just elongated.
Well, I didn't see the whole thing either.
I think Standalone Complex was one of my favorites.
Yeah, they
Although the very
further
original
the
takes it
story.
a lot deeper.
yeah.
So, but I mean, we're pretty much, Zia, you don't have much time left. We're running out of time for the podcast.
I don't have any other anime movies. Your name's the only anime movie that matters. It's
Zia,
I wouldn't see.
there's
I love your
no-
name so much that I don't. When I tell people about it, I don't
Look,
say
I
it's an anime
appreciate
movie.
that,
I just say
Zio,
this is a
but-
wonderful movie. You need to
Spin,
watch it.
Spin likes his name too. You can tell because of how much he tries to sell us. Nah, Spin, go ahead and take a shower in salt because Spin wins overall. And Spin, your grand prize is you get to take over the payments. Congratulations. So everybody, the word of the day is anime, and if you say it, Spin will give you $5.
Toll is
Look.
not allowed to keep score anymore. His scoring system is complete garbage.
That's okay. I'll forgive you, Toll. Sorry, Zia. I mean, Zia, you just better luck next time. That's all I can say.
Whatever. It's so bullshit.
Well, look,
Hey, you both gave me a great list of shows that I have to watch now. And
Oh,
your
we'll
name
quickly
is
name them
at the
back out
top of
again.
that list, but it was already at the
Also-
top of the list.
I'll actually put a description in the video this time, and I'll make sure I throw all the lists of the movies in there. But just to list them again, just in case anybody's listening at this point, and they want to know and they haven't written it down already. I did Silver Spoon, Daily Lives of High School Boys, Samurai Champloo, and then Redline.
Well, you
And
also,
then
you also
Cowboy
said,
Bebop.
yeah.
I did. I don't remember. Hold up. Looking at my list. I got the list. Okay, I did Future Diary, Your Lie in April, High School DxD, and Your Name.
Yeah.
And I did nothing
Although-
much but give these guys shit.
I do want to watch A Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Yes. Oh my
Wait,
God,
what?
you have to watch that one. A Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
What is
That
that?
looks really good.
It's so good. This is the podcast is gonna have to go on a little longer. So, A Girl Who Leapt Through Time is a story about a girl who can leap through time. She has the ability to go
No.
back in time, where an event happens that she is devastated by and wants to stop. And so she travels back in time to go and kind of works through the problems, going back in time several times, working her way around different issues to try and get to the point so that she can stop it from happening. It's also got a very wonderful art style. The character is amazing. The animations they do for it are fantastic as well. And it's A Girl Who Leapt Through Time is one of the movies that you see on almost every top 10 list. It's like one of the higher up ones there.
Nice.
What sucks is it's not old enough to be considered a classic, like just for the era that it came out in and the stuff that it does, but it pushes it. I would almost consider it a classic. So
That all you got to say on it?
that's all I got to say on it.
Ah. Well, in that case, in a surprising upset, Zio comes from behind to win with The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, because he's the one who presented it, and you sold it for him.
But
So congratulations, Zio. You get to
It's
take over the
garbage.
payments.
It's a garbage. It is a garbage scoring system.
Hey, this is what happens when you don't fill me in on what's going to happen.
this is almost better because now Zio's not happy how he won. Look, Zio,
legit.
like the famous lyrics from Linkin Park. In the end, doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even
I'm
matter.
so
I
sad.
want to
That's my
watch all
favorite
of
band.
these.
But that's pretty much all the time we've got for the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should.
Which
talk about
anime did you want
We
to
should
see the
just
most
start
out
a
of
new
our list?
podcast and just talk about anime.
Yeah.
And then we can
We
just
should.
do the one podcast that I have a hard enough time getting out on time, and then we can do another one that probably be just as difficult to do. And then we'd never get any episodes of any podcast out, but we could still say that we have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, final tally. I chose Spin for the Slice of Life, which was Silver Spoon, right?
Yep.
I chose.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Slice
No, I
of...
didn't. He chose mine.
Oh no, that's right. You chose. No, he chose Silver Spoon, and
No,
then he chose your
Lie in
comedy.
April. No, he chose your comedy.
What did he?
I chose
You
the
guys
one
are
on the. I had
Terrible
Spin
at this
on the.
game.
Wait a minute.
Look,
I had Spin on the right. I had Z on the left.
You chose.
Sorry, you're right. I did choose Your Lie in April. I remembered Silver
chose Your
Spoon. It
Lie
stuck in my head.
April.
no, he's on the left.
You chose.
You're going back and checking the video.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, Your Lie in April for the Slice of Life. What was the next one? Was
High School Boys.
comedy.
High School
yeah,
Boys.
Daily Lives of High School Boys.
And then action was Z by default because Spin couldn't come up with one I hadn't seen.
The movie is technically me, but
Well, no, because I got 10 points for my movie,
Garbage scoring.
and you only got 5 points for yours.
Whatever.
I mean,
Spin won by
realistically,
points because I had
I still
already
consider-
been sold on the one Zio sold. But I want to see your name more than literally anything else that has been mentioned in this podcast. So how does that make you feel, Z?
I can send you a trailer, and I guarantee that trailer will trump anything ever.
Link it in the
Zio,
description.
that's not a part
Let everyone
of
see
the competition. Remember, the competition was about descriptions.
Hey, I was given the final tally so we could close out this podcast,
No, I'm
guys.
totally fine with it. I mean, I still consider Zio's victory kind of like a partial victory for me as well, because I almost gave him a quarter of his points. So
You really did.
good work, good teamwork, Zio.
That's right. I had
Now,
chosen
there is-
Silver Spoon,
there
and then you
is
talked up his
one-
show.
There
You did win the
is-
first one.
There is one last anime Spen and I both agree on that.
How many times are we going to end this podcast? Oh, that's
Nope.
right. We got to we
have
got to
to
talk
talk-
about that one.
Because it was on both of our lists
Yeah,
originally.
you
So-
need to go watch this anime before.
It's on
before
Netflix.
the
You need to
others?
watch Fate Zero.
Fate Zero. I've been curious
Yes.
about that for a while.
It is a dark and gruesome anime.
That
Yeah.
I think isn't for the sake of the length of this
It's-
podcast. I think that's enough said. I already
No,
want
it's-
to watch it.
No, we have to tell you.
Okay, fine.
It's so good.
Fate Zero is fantastic. It basically, the setting for this is there's a competition for the Holy Grail that happens every, I think it's like decade or something like that, or 100 years. I don't remember.
No, not
And
100.
what it
I
is-
think I thought it was every like 20 years.
Yes. No. Yes. I think it is
Maybe
20
it's-
years.
It
'cause-
might be 10.
Well,
either
that's
10
not
or
what's important.
20.
What's important is it
Yeah.
happens every some odd years, and these powerful magicians make pacts with these legendary heroes from ages past so that they can summon them, and they have to do battle and destroy the other mages so that they can be the last ones surviving, and then they will be granted a single wish from the Holy Grail.
Oh, the Holy Grail grants wishes now.
Yes.
This one does.
So it
Okay.
follows. So there's all of these. What is it? It's like 8 or 9, 8 to 10 mages. I don't remember. That all have these pacts with these heroes from the past, and it's like this super high magic, high action. But oh god, it is. The fight scenes in this one too are so good.
Animation
It's
is
so
phenomenal.
beautiful.
It's a wonderful anime. It follows a few main characters, and you get a sense of different personalities, and then the ending is also pretty unexpected. It's a mixture of like, when I first watched it, it made me think of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Just
so like
with
Listeners
this
are
one,
going to hate me. I
you-
haven't seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
That's totally fine.
yeah, no, it's fine. But like when I say that, I mean it. At the time of TV and everything, Game of Thrones came out and changed the formula of at which TV was written and how you typically follow main characters and how you write the storyline. And this anime kind of follows those types of footsteps. So it doesn't follow.
Was Game of Thrones out before this?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it doesn't
It's been out for a long
follow
time.
traditional anime footsteps into writing a story. I mean, it does in some capacity, but at the same time, it doesn't. Like, it really, when you start to think there's a main character, it kind of like subverts your expectations there. It does a really good job at just keeping you on edge nearly the entire season.
I actually kind of
Yeah.
like stories like that. They don't follow a specific character, they follow a story. And if the character dies in the course of the story, that's just, you got to deal with it.
The tough
That's
part
life.
with this one too is all of these characters are basically fighting to kill each other, and you'll probably find a character or two that you're like, these are my favorite. But for most of the other characters, you don't want them to lose. There's so many characters that you wish
Yeah.
to be the main character and push forward, just because you get to see so much of their backstory and kind of the
Yeah.
struggles that they go through, and it's it's a fantastic job. I would almost say that it's the perfect or the closest thing we'll ever get to a true it's like the most true, very well done western version of what an anime could be.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah. It is a wonderful anime. Like, has a great story out.
Well,
It follows
that's
a lot of
jumping up
characters,
to the
and
top
all
of my
them have
list
their
right
own-
now because that one I
They're
can actually
all
watch
very
right now.
endearing.
The only tough thing is this is technically Fate Zero is technically the second show in this series.
Actually,
Fate
it's like
Fate Zero happens first, but chronologically watching the show, Fate Stay Night takes place in the events after Fate Zero, but it was written first.
Did you say stay night or stained night?
Stay
Fate
Night.
Stay Night.
So
I still,
If you were to
Zero-
watch it chronologically,
you guys
in the
talked
way
over
that
each
it was
other. I still
written-
don't know which
Oh,
one
sorry.
you said.
it's Fate Stay Night.
Stay night. Okay, that's what I
So
thought.
Fate Zero is a prequel to Fate Stay Night.
Yes.
However, you can actually watch it either
in
way.
any order.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the prequel before Fate Stay Night, or either way, because
Like Star Wars.
Did you watch the
there's
prequel
still
first?
surprising elements. I did watch the prequel first.
I didn't, and I almost
I
think I
didn't-
enjoyed I enjoyed it more watching the prequel first. That's
yeah,
what I
no,
find. But they also have the remake.
well, the remake's way better than the original.
Yeah, but
So-
Fate Stay Night still isn't as good as Fate Zero.
No, it's not. So I would don't watch Fate Stay Night. If you do want to watch it, watch Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
That's
What?
the remake of Fate
It's
Stay
the
Night.
remake of Fate Stay Night, but the story's better, the animation's
Yeah.
better.
Fate
So-
Zero did so good that they remade the first
Yeah.
show.
So imagine Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. It's basically like Full Metal Alchemist and then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Span, you should have suggested Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't seen it and I had no reason to.
What?
I wouldn't suggest Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, you'd have gotten more
I
points for
really
that.
enjoyed
than-
it.
I would suggest Brotherhood.
I watched both of them, and
Oh.
they both have their strong points, and they both have some weak
Point
points.
is, the Full Metal
think-
franchise is something I haven't seen,
I
so that would have
think
been
I think
something
as
for you.
a story, Brotherhood's way better. I think it's more cohesive.
No, that's fair. Fate
Um,
or Full Metal Alchemist kind of went away from the manga,
Yeah,
fair
and
amount.
it gets really weird towards the end.
but it has a
Um,
really good movie that Brotherhood
No,
doesn't lead into.
That's true. I do like the movie. You're talking about the red what is it?
I think so. It's the one that takes place after, and then they meet again.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. That movie is really good. It just it doesn't fit Brotherhood. But anyways, so yeah, I would watch Fate Zero and then Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Toll, I hope you know that going through and trying to pick stuff was so hard.
Yeah.
I had lists that I had to like break down just to pick one.
I had lists, and I had lists of my lists, and I had lists of the lists I had lists of.
I already have like my top 10 favorite anime ready to go at my disposal for arguments like this. So
it's too hard to pick.
It was easy for me to pick the type based off
Z,
the
you kind of
genres.
already look like an anime character, so I imagine it's pretty easy to relate.
Thanks.
I mean that in the nicest way.
Sure you do.
I'm not sure how nice the nicest way actually is, but I mean it in the nicest one.
Oh, so they're actually doing it, Zio. I didn't think it was going to happen. Final Fantasy VII, the remake, is actually legitimately been talked about again by the developers. And
yeah,
it's
I
on
know.
its way.
They also released a trailer.
And said more
it's
info
gonna happen.
in June.
It looks so good.
You know I'm going to play that, and I'm never going to play the original.
I'm going to abandon my playthrough of the original if it comes out before I finish it.
It breaks my heart, but
I'll come back to it eventually, but I mean...
I won't.
You gotta finish the original before.
I almost bought it, and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, now I have no need
if
to buy
I had
it.
an editor, I would binge my way through
different.
the original so that it could be finished and it could be put up there by the time that the new one comes out.
Well, it's tough. I really want to play it, and the only way I'll play it is on the Switch.
Wait a minute, are we still...
Yeah,
we're still podcasting.
We need to end this thing.
We're still
All right,
podcasting,
well, that's
guys.
the official end of the podcast, and thanks for watching. If you're still here, I forgot to do it again, but you're going to see some beautiful artwork in the background right now of the podcast if you're listening to this on YouTube, and that was supplied by Mr. Toll. Thank you, Toll, for the beautiful screenshots that you made.
I don't know which one he's going to pick, so we'll find out in a little bit.
I've picked this one, the one that they see right now.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one of my favorites. I like it.
Yeah, it's okay.
And if you've got some cool screenshots that you think would be sweet to share, then definitely send it to us. You can tweet it at us. You can send it to us in the Discord. Doesn't matter. You could mail it if you want on a flash drive if you know our addresses.
Tie it to a carrier pigeon and send it to Spin's home address.
Yeah, if you do by carrier pigeon, Toll will give you $5 as
no, Z does the $5 now. Remember
to redistribute.
No, I didn't win though.
Oh, thank God, Zio won. Actually, yeah, thank you for winning, Zio. Now it's although technically, Toll, you under your contract that you signed, it can never be transitioned to anyone else.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you are stuck with it.
I think you might have been talking with my evil
All right,
friends. I haven't signed Jack.
But see everybody, if you want to see your picture up there, send it to us, and we'll say thanks to you.
Good night, everybody.
on the
Spin
podcast.
sucks.
Toll will give you $5.